Hello, this is Terry Short of Terry Short Insurance Agency, doing business as Terry Short Integra Insurance, and also of Clear Diamond Realty. Today, I just wanted to make a video on ego. I had went through this past weekend and listened to several audiobooks, and kind of feel like that's where I needed to touch on today, ego. But before we actually get into that, let's just go back over and say thank you to everyone who has given us the opportunity to earn their business here at Terry Short Insurance Agency. We certainly appreciate all you guys that have called in and given us the opportunity to earn your business. Also, be on the lookout for some marketing materials that we mailed out. You should receive some quotes as well, just to give you guys an example of what we have to offer here. So be on the lookout for that also. And if possible, please continue to like and share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel if possible. We'll try to put the link in, and if you guys can, please do that. We're just trying to expand our reach. I don't know why the Facebook and these things work different than they used to, but we don't seem to get the same reach it like we used to get out to all of our clients and past customers and such. So please continue to like and share, and that way hopefully we can reach more people. But anyway, as we always start out just talking about the ego, I guess what kind of gave me the encouragement to talk about ego was I had been listening to some audiobooks all weekend by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and I almost feel like I shouldn't even be discussing it. These guys are on such a high level than as compared to me just trying to explain some things about being positive and just higher consciousness and all those types of things. So it's a lot different for me trying to talk about things. Once you hear these guys speak on it, it's like, wow, man, you probably shouldn't even be talking. But I just want to encourage the people that I can reach to about being positive and staying positive and all of that. So let's go over the definition first of ego. So ego, in a psychoanalysis definition of it, is the division of the psyche that is conscious, most immediately controls thought and behavior, and is most in touch with external reality. Also, it goes to that aspect of the mind most in touch with reality. An individual's awareness, what constitutes his or her essential nature and distinguishes him or her from all others. Now, when they talk about a negative concept, I guess, of ego, a lot of times we talk about being conceited, or conceit. It's an exaggerated sense of self-importance. That's when it says you're being conceited. Now, on the positive one, for self-esteem, is appropriate pride in oneself. So ego can be taken in several different ways. As with everything, there's always a positive and a negative to every aspect of it. I guess in a lot of things that the books that we were reading before just talks about, it was mainly like how to have power over people and how to control people and how to do these things. Now I kind of see that as being a negative, but it also kind of gets your ego in the way of people also, because you don't know when someone is coming to you just being themselves, they're being honest, good natured, or sometimes when we read a lot of these other books and we see how people try to control you, we may take it the wrong way and say, they may be trying to just come at you in a negative way, or they have been reading some of the same material that you're reading, and you think that they may be trying to pull a fast one over on you. I know a lot of times when we read books that's dealing with power, like the Art of War, and then it's some books, it has a lot of different ones about different laws of power, like the one that we have in the office, the 48 Laws of Power. And they talk about different ways and the way people try to manipulate you and do things. But what happens is your ego that's where it gets in the way. Now, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he had mentioned about what his acronym for ego is, edging God out. So a lot of times we get ourselves in the way. That's when we say our ego gets in the way of God. So we try to take the place of God and just push all of the good and the positive aspects of God. Of course, that's all in you. So God is in you also, but we want to try to instead of going by those principles, we try to get to the negative principle. We want to control everything and control other people, and that's when ego gets in the way. And we try to just take over and try to control the next person and make sure you can, kind of have influence on whatever they do and how they treat other people, how they treat you. And that's the main thing. We want people to treat us a certain way, but we have to remember, I think we would get more if we actually start treating people a certain way first. So, and let's come to another quick topic. This is out of some of those laws. Say, win through your actions, never through argument. So any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is really a Pyrrhic victory, meaning a victory that is offset by staggering losses. So a victory or a goal achieved at too great a cost. So even though you may have won something, it's going to cost you a lot more in the end. That's what they mean by a victory. So it wouldn't, if you were in war, it wouldn't, you say you might have won a victory, but it won't do any good if you lost all your friends in battle and stuff like that. So that the cost of winning is maybe too great in that case. So the resentment and the ill will you stir up is stronger and lasts longer than any momentary change of opinion. It's much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate, do not explicate. So, having said all that, it just, sometimes you don't want things to cost us so much just to win. Like we say, you want to be right or you want to be effective. You want to try to keep people on your side. You want to try to keep fostering goodwill instead of always, finding a way to create some type of animosity. And I do believe that's what happens in a lot of cases when we lose friends, or we lose a deal, or we lose some things that we don't understand. Like we thinking that, okay, we try to explain to our best of our ability what the person really wanted. So you do these things and you explain to them, and then that person may not say anything, but that's when they have some type of animosity towards you. So you thinking that because of your ego, the way you feel about it, well, I did explain to them, I tried to tell them what I felt was right, and you may have been right. But in those person's eyes, I guess you were just being a smart ass or something like that, because they don't want to see it, and then their ego is up in a way. So that's why we have to remember about that. When we say ego, it's just saying it's edging God out. So we have to remember to keep God in the conversation and keep ourselves, keep our emotions in check, because. And a lot of times, we have to be able to take it too, because people will come and try to tell us something, we just won't receive it. That's why you were saying sometimes we have a deal in sales where they say have a change of face, right? So I said, if you're speaking to someone in your family and they just won't receive anything that you're saying, you can have someone else go get somebody else and have them to say the exact same words that you're saying, and they will receive those words rather than receive it from you, even though there's no difference. It could be said the same and everything, but people just wouldn't receive it. So that's what I'm kind of looking at with the ego thing, because I always try to reflect on a lot of things that happen, even though there's nothing you can change from the past, anything like that. But we do want to try to correct mistakes that have been made. And a lot of times people will want you to do certain things. And what we try to do is make sure, hey, if you want whatever you want, that's what we want to give to you, because we feel like that's our job here. So if you ask for whatever, I don't care if it's the type of house that you want to find. If it cost, I don't care if it costs $1 million. If that's what you want, we would certainly go out and try to find you $1 million house, because it's no reflection of us. But when we find it, and it's something that you may feel like is unaffordable or something like that, you can't then turn around and put that back on us. That's one of those deals where we might have to look at things a bit differently going forward. We're not really exactly sure how we're going to work this thing out with ego and getting everybody's egos out of the way. But sometimes that's what it is. When we often talk about how we lose friends and family over time, but a lot of times I think that's exactly what's taking place. It's just ego. And a lot of times we would say, taking kindness for weakness and all that type of stuff. I think we just start to get our egos in the way of trying to do good work. So having said all of that, let's just keep continually trying to figure out a way to, as always, just stay positive, keep everything even keel, try to figure a way to hash things out and talk about it, And when you do have a problem, I would say the best thing to do is just go ahead and address it right then and there. A lot of times that would solve a lot of our issues down the road when we just take a hit and our feelings get hurt and we just don't say anything right then and there. Or if we feel like, maybe the other person was right and we were wrong, but instead of us just taking it as, oh, that was just someone making a correction, we would take it as a personal attack against us. And I mean, that's the type of deals that I always see, in business. A lot of times when we lose clients and lose friends, it's always, I think a lot of it has to do with ego and those sort of things, rather than just saying, hey man, let's talk about this, let's hash it out, see how we can come to some type of understanding. I guess the older I get, I can see that more. But when I was younger, I understood it because I was probably the same way or worse. I was always wanting to be first at everything. A lot of times, that's when we all have that ego. We try to get that. Sometimes I think we have that self-importance, that I guess exaggerated sense of self-importance. That's how we look at it. That's why people call it being conceited. We would think that we kind of come across as a know-it-all, and that's where the problems come in. So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. It's starting to drag out. But the main thing is, if you guys need anything, please don't hesitate to call. The number here in the office, 210-858-5008, or my personal cell phone, 210-990-6677. I can always be reached to whatever you need to, send out quotes or maybe review your insurance and even go out and look at some property. So it doesn't matter if it's a residential property or commercial, whatever you need, we will certainly try to get out there and get it done for you as soon as possible. Once again, you guys take care until the next video. Hopefully we'll be seeing you sometime later this week.